Hey everyone, I think I'm live. I gotta check. Yeah, so basically, I'm terrible at doing videos that are unstructured and I like to make everything polished. Looks like we're live. Let me just mute that file. Yeah, so the idea is to just share my process, what I'm building on, what I'm working on, sorry, and not try to add too much polish to it like I tend to do. I need to get better at just going live, doing stuff, and this is what I'm doing. So let me switch view here and bear with me. All right, so what I'm working on, how do I make this context without spending too much time? Basically, we're building this thing called Keystatic, which is a Git-based content management platform system thing. And what happens is right now we have this onboarding, which is just a button that gives you a completely vanilla template with literally nothing, just the backend, the admin UI. And what we want to do is to provide a few templates like a blog demo and then a landing page demo and things like this. And what I started working on this morning is, this is very prototypey. I'm working on the landing page example. So I'm still waiting for a Figma file. So this is kind of like, why is that here? Let me move that here. This is kind of, that's like an image, PNG image of the work that the design team has been doing. And the idea is to have this, you can see we have testimonials here and then pricing features. And the idea is to just build that with Tailwind first and then try to bring some content management to the template. So code-wise, what I have so far, let me go into Z mode. Okay, so what I have so far, I've just literally taken the image that you've seen here. And I'm sorry, I've got, you can't see them, but I've got overlay images. Yeah, overlays over the page. So without going into too much details, Keystatic kind of lives in the, that's the Next.js app. And we have this Keystatic API page and also REST page, which is how Keystatic works. And for the rest, I'm just building here the index page. So I've started building the header with the navigation and the first two sections. So I'm not worrying about the gradients and the fonts and stuff because I don't have the design specs yet, that's just that image. So I'm just building the structure. So I've done the navigation, then a 2-column grid here with the hero, and I'm just building that. And while I was building that, I thought, hey, I may as well just go live and start showing what I'm working on. And you know what? I can't help being very self-conscious when I'm on camera. So you know my face. Here it is one more time. Woo! I'll just turn my face off and just share my screen. You don't need to see me. You will hear me the whole time. Bye-bye. All right. And now I can chill. So I'm going to build these 3 columns here. I think I started the first one. So what I might do, okay, that's what I have. Navigation, beautiful button here, no hover states or anything. And I've started, I have this placeholder image and these 3 columns. So basically, I'm trying to find the best way to not flick between screens all the time, but I think I have to. All right, so I'm going to use a very cool OCR capture here. That's, I think native Mac does it, but this is a clean shot. Don't know if you heard that sound, but that was good. So I copied this and I can go put it in a P tag. Where are we? Oh, well, I had it already. Good start, Simon. All right, so let's make it a little bit lighter gray with, I'm gonna go with text gray 700. Yeah, that works. I'm really just eyeballing stuff and making it literally just the structure first, so I don't spend time trying to make it pixel perfect. That will come later. But that said, I tend to, for example, it's like the mock is an iPhone with rounded corners, so I end up doing stuff that is allegedly a waste of time, like rounded to Excel, just so it looks a little bit more like the mock. So we're gonna add 2 boxes here under, and they're like semi-transparent. This one is white, opaque, and then the semi-transparent. All right. So what did I have before? Up here I had rounded to, I'll just copy that. So that's the first div. Yep. We have a section, image on the left, that's the right. And you know what? Let me put the second box here. I don't know if this should be, because I had an H2 for the first one, because it's like a headline. I don't want all of these to be H2. I'll just do paragraphs for now. I don't know if it's the right approach or not. So what do they say? You know what, let's go OCR once again. I'm sorry, I just realized when I go live, I lose all my skills. But this is why I'm practicing. Let's see if I can capture all of that. Yeah, and then can I paste that in the first paragraph, all of it? Nice. All right, so we're gonna have a line break here. Okay, so that's the first one. And is the other one say peace of mind for, oh, it's just one sentence, the other one. So bear with me, I'll save that one as the first and duplicate that one and change the text to that. So let's look at what we've got. We got nothing because I probably put it in the wrong place. So, wow, this is a solid start, Simon. Good idea to live stream. All right. So I want to have some spacing in between, and I could have flex with a gap or grid with a gap, and we can also use the space Y, a vertical spacing utility. So if on the parent of these 3 I have a space Y8 or something, it's gonna create that gap between, which I kind of like. So let's try this. The parent of these 3 boxes is here. So here I can go space Y, and we can choose, I think 8 is what I go with for everything. And yeah, you see, it's probably a bit too much, but that works. And the other thing I wanted to do is make these 2 second boxes semi-transparent. So this one and the next one, multi-cursor. So I'll go with, instead of BG white, we can go BG white 50%. I think 75 is better suited. And you can kind of see it. And if I change the background color of the whole section up here to red 500, watch your eyes, it might hurt, but you'll see the transparency here. Wow, this is looking fantastic. All right, so then let's make the text the same size. I'll go back to gray 200, and the text, we had 2 XL fonts semi-bold. And I think for our 2 paragraph tag, these 2 here, I think we can do the same. It's very big, isn't it? Although I don't know what level of zoom I'm in, so if you look at it like this, then it looks the same. But it does appear a bit big. What do I do? Let's go with, I'm gonna go with text XL. So this one, and this one. What happened? If we go text Excel. Yeah. All right, that'll work. Okay, so this is very roughly the section here. Aha, now we have a testimonial. So I've started doing sections for each section, which, I mean, it's not bad. I don't know if everything should be a section, but I'll roll with that for now. So here, I want to have a background black, rounded to XL, padding, let's go 8, like a big box. Let's see our big box. Yeah, okay, so it also needs the treatment, which is the what I've done, the max width container with some horizontal padding. I've used it so you can see MX Auto, max width 6XL. Okay, I'm actually faster at typing it than talking about it. So max width 6XL MX Auto, and then PX4, and then small breakpoint PX6, and large breakpoint PX8. What you've just seen me do these 3 is ingrained in my brain from the Tailwind UI days. So we would have this combination of horizontal padding on almost every container to have the gutter from the edges. So now our box should look, but it looks terrible because of the padding and the lack of padding actually. So we kind of want, maybe I'll have 32 up and down like I've done for the other sections. So up here, man, live streaming is hard. Just because I'm talking while I do things, and I'm sharing my small, it's a tiny screen here, 1280 by 720. I get less space, I got to flick between windows. You actually kind of lose a bunch of productivity. But hey, it's worth it. Is it the same width? Yeah, so my max width container is way too wide, I think. I should have 6XL here, and then 5, and then 5. Who knows? Again, this is very likely to change, so I don't know if it's a great idea to try to sweat the details just yet. I think it makes more sense to get stuff on the screen. Why did it not update? Max width 5XL. What's going on? Anyway, what do we have in there? We have a quote and then an avatar with a username. And that's very likely going to come from Keystatic eventually. So every time I come back to that screen, I have to use the mouse to focus, which I don't like. All right, so what is the... Is it a figure with the block quote in? I never know. Please don't roast me. That's maybe terrible, but oh well. Oh, CR. Capture OCR. I love that thing. This is my new favorite thing. Oh my god. Focus. Yeah. And then fig caption. Oh, I don't know. It might be absolutely terribly wrong. I'll fix that later. Trust me, if you live stream, you'll know what I mean. Your skills go out the window. So we have an image. Why do I lose focus every time? Oh, this is annoying. So let's have a cat. 80 by 80. and with some class names. Width 8, height 8, rounded full. What does it look like? Hey, look at this cat. Okay, I really need to do something about this. I'll close my other, okay. I had other VS Code windows on the other screen and the focus would always be there. So let's me add text Y, text to Excel. Look at me, I'm starting to get my stride here. Whatever. This is looking terrible. Class name. We'll make the internal thing slightly narrower. So arguably I could use Flexbox to center it, but that will work. Hey, that's still wide. I want a narrow thing. All right. And instead of that, I'll go flex call. So it stacks vertically. And then I want item center because the main axis. Hey, yeah, okay. And we still have here to have text center. Okay, let's add a gap. What gap do we want? Between the avatar and the block quote. Gap 8. I told you I always go with 8. It always looks good. So I want my avatar to be bigger, and then we're gonna have the username and oh my god. Avatar. Let's go with 12. Age 12 with 12. And then we have a p tag that says person's name, and then we'll have a link tag from next. God knows where it goes. And that's going to be the user name. It's all black by default, so let's make the person's name text white. And I like when I'm able to type again. And this is going to be text. So it's either gray 100 or maybe white 80%. So based on the background, it adjusts. Yes. Now, why am I not fig caption? Oh yeah, because now I'm in the flex child, so it's not flexed anymore. Nested flex. I promise you, I'm a better developer offline than online. It's like my skills go out the... Yeah, okay, so now this thing is left aligned, but we want it to be aligned center. It makes sense because it's a child with multiple children element. Flex call. Now I wish I used grid, but whatever. Flex call. Items center. Watch this. Okay. And we probably want a bit of spacing between each. Although it's different, it might be different between the image to p tag and p tag to link. So I'll go empty 2 here. Yeah. And empty 1 here. How do we look? Let me close the... Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a wireframe, and that's kind of what I'm going after, to be honest. But when you're obsessed with good design, you kind of feel like you have to I want PY12. What is wrong? Ah, okay, I've realized I had a mistake. I had horizontal padding already from the container. But because we have this smaller inner max width container, I think it's fine. It's what matters is the vertical padding. I want this to be a bit bigger here. What do we got? You know what? It's still too wide. It's doing my head in. I'm gonna go XL. Now I'm gonna be happy. Okay, let's stop fiddling with this. So when it comes from the Keystatic, we're gonna have testimonials. I think it's not just one testimonial. We're gonna have testimonials as a collection or list of things, because we're gonna have one, which is the primary, probably like a checkbox to say this is the featured testimonial, and then these are the secondary testimonials, yeah? And they all have the same quote, avatar, name, username, handle. So these are going to be the fields. I want all of them to be the same content entity, and then we have some mechanism to pull one of them as the featured one. All right. I think we'll stay inside the section because it's the testimonial section. So next I'm gonna have an H2. Let me check if there's comments. Actually, I've always said I should. Oh my god, there is lots of comments. When does PX4 kick in? PX4, that's actually, look at this. I can pull the comments on screen. I got a good fancy eCam Live. Let's answer this question. This is why I want to practice. I want to be natural when I do these streams, because right now I promise you my heart is beating, I'm all stressed out, and it sucks. So I want to get better. So if I pull the comments here, I can pull them on the screen. Look at this. Is it on screen? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Add to broadcast. Hey, Jeremy B, what's up? What's up? So when does PX4 kick in? So let me add some context to this. This is what I was showing, PX4, SM, PX6. So PX4 will kick in from the start. It's gonna add padding left and right for everything. Tailwind's classes are mobile first, in the sense that if you don't have a prefix like small or large, it applies to everything. And then the media queries, instead of doing below a certain breakpoint, they do after or greater than a certain breakpoint. You can see the mean width. So if your viewport is 600 pixels wide, this is where the PX6 will kick in instead of PX4, which is the default. And then at the large breakpoint, we're going with PX8 at 1024. Hope that makes sense. I dread seeing what sits behind my screen here. It's all right, just a calendar. So if we scroll down, my god, this looks terrible. There's PX4 is that tiny bit of spacing here, you can see. And then when we hit, no, that's not right. Let's look at the navigation here. I haven't done responsive style, but oh my god, PX4 would be here, and then if I get greater, you will see a jump. Yeah, you can see the slate. Look at the logo here. When that's the small breakpoint, it jumps to PX6, and then eventually PX8 here. You can see the jump. So hopefully that answers the question. Thank you, Jeremy, saying you're doing great. This is great, great, great. Okay, good, because I feel like I'm doing terrible, so it's good. Thank you. Another good reason for checking the comments. So we've done that. I want to do, our users have many reasons to choose Slate. Trust me, if it's more than one line, I'm gonna OCR that. I hope you hear that sound. It's such a good sound. So within our section here, we have our split, I can close that, our split columns. Now I'm going to have an H2 that says, our users have many reasons to choose Slate. So it's going to be tiny because Tailwind normalizes, resets everything to the default font size. Okay, so one observation is this container here should probably be applied in the section, but I will have background color to the section, so I'll have another wrapping div here. Let's scoot that down just before the closing section. What? No, sorry. Abort. What am I doing? I think I went in the wrong section. Yeah. What I want to do in the testimonial section, which is this one, let's add a comment. Yeah, I want to add a wrapping div here, and then I want to move MX Auto. I want to move these two, as well as the horizontal padding. Yeah, that's better. I want to move it here, and look, when I save, it's gonna jump into what I wanted to show you is the prettier plugin. So if I have a responsive class and I save, it jumps right at the back. There's a class name sorting opinions for you. So now it should look the same, but now we've applied the max width container to the whole thing that wraps the testimonial and then the rest. And why not put it straight on the section? I believe, actually, I don't know, but certain parts of this design have this like gradients background that you want to go full width. So it would be harder to do if we didn't have one element that spans across the whole width. But actually, I think this one might be right. So let's go, what do we go here? Text 4XL, semi-bold, something like this. Font semi-bold. So we're gonna go, I could have a div, but I'll put the margin straight here. Empty, that's a big ass one, 32. And we have a max width container. Yeah, that's not bad. Look at this. It's actually pretty good. Might reduce the margin to 24. And the font size can go up 1. Now we have a pixel perfect. No, we don't. But hey, it's pretty good. It looks like bold, but the font's gonna change, so everything's gonna change. So I'm gonna keep that like this. And then it says, here's the latest. So that's easy. P. Here's the latest, and typing in public, friends. What do we want? Empty 4. Empty 6. Leave on the edge. Hey. And usually I use text gray 700 for that. And you cannot forget the period according to the design. All right. Comment. Oh, my comment is still up. Jeez, Louise. Yes. Bye. Remove. Thanks for the heads up. Okay. A new version of Ecamm. I don't want to download a new version while I'm streaming. Gee. Okay, so now that's gonna be cool. Ooh. Curved ball by the designer. You know, this masonry layout is a pipe dream. We can, well, CSS grid does not allow you to have like different cell separation heights. So you can do it with CSS columns, which kind of it wasn't invented for that, but it works. Or you can have a flex vertical with flex wrap, and then you have a max height. Both are pretty, and it's kind of hacky. But I don't want to use a JavaScript library for Masonry, something like Dave DeSandro, like, yeah, it's called Masonry, I think. This is a starter template. The idea is people will probably delete it, so you don't want to have these dependencies that they have to uninstall or like keep in package JSON and then just bring them for no reason. So I think we'll try with CSS columns or flex. But the first thing I want to do, and this is probably the first component I'll build. No, I won't. I will have data. Yeah, let's do that. Now I'm thinking, you know what? Let's try, I was gonna do an array. Let's try, this is a live stream and this is still in development, so who knows what's gonna happen, but let's do this. Check it out. Whew. I'm gonna go to a page called Keystatic. What is that? So Keystatic has a config file. You can see we're storing the content on GitHub on this repo that I'm working on. And we have a series of collections for now. We have posts. We're not using posts, but that's the starter point. And you can imagine what's happening. There's a title, a slug, a content field with component blocks inside of it, which is super cool. And then a series of authors. And now in my page that I'm building, if I add /keystatic, let's open that in a new tab. Look at this. I've got my dashboard with my posts collection, and if I go create one, there's the exact fields that you've seen. So that's kind of how Keystatic works. And what I'm trying to do now is, let's go, just delete all of it. Don't do this. Yes, I'm gonna do it. So what we want is a series of testimonials. Yeah. Which is a collection. So we wrap this in this collection function, which gives us great typing hinting. Look at this. We need to have a label, testimonials, and then we need a schema. Schema is where you pass all your fields like we had before. So we want definitely a, what should be the identifier for each? I don't know, maybe the person, actually, you're likely not gonna have two testimonials for the same person. So let's go author. And it's going to be, I'm going to pick one of the fields. So you can see Keystatic has fields for array, checkbox, child, conditional, date. Here we just want a text field. And again, it's gonna tell me what I need. I need a label, author. And I want a unique identifier, which could be the, okay, so this is probably likely going to change, but I'll have a slug here, which is also a text field. And the reason I do this is to have some unique identifier. So when I fetch the data, we can identify who's who. And so now I can say get item slug. And if I receive the data, it's going to be data.slug. And if I add a comma, TypeScript should be happy. So let's see what I've done. I've created a collection called Testimonials. It's labeled as Testimonials, and it has an author and slug field. So if I save that, post has been deleted, so it doesn't exist. But if I go in my dashboard, now you can see I have testimonials. And notice I'm on the main branch, which means if I push to main, it's going to directly merge into main, which might be what you want. Actually, I want that now because I'm deving. But the really cool thing is you can create a new branch called content demo, something like this. And now you can see that I'm on the content demo branch. So instead of pushing, it's going to suggest me to create a pull request. And that's going to deploy a branch preview and all the good things. So you can imagine the workflows. But for now, I'll just go back to main because I'm working in the main branch and pushing my stuff and pulling my stuff. So look at this. We have testimonials, new entry, author, and slug. Simon Swiss. Simon Swiss. Boom. Now I have one testimonial. Surprise, surprise. So one thing that I haven't specified that I need to specify is where I want this to be generated. Yeah, I think it has a default, which is /content. Here, we're working on a better story for this, but there's an image here. We're going to have this avatar, and we want to be able to reference the image. So for now, this will probably change, but I'll put everything in in Next.js public directory, which is because then I can reference an image from there, and it's going to be a bit easier for this prototyping. So look at this. In my collection, I can add a directory, which is where I want the stuff to get generated. So I want it in public content testimonials. And you know what? I don't know, but I think I have to push my changes. So I'm on the main branch, just YOLO pushing. This is just me working in there. So now I've told Keystatic to generate stuff in public contents directory. And let's add one more field, and then we'll try see if we can get it. Let's go quote, yeah? Fields dot, I don't think there's a text area, so I'll go for text. We'll definitely add something for longer pieces of. So what you need to know, it's like it's in active development. Yeah, we're building stuff very rapidly, but my experience has been I ask for something that I think is missing, and it gets implemented really quickly, which is awesome. So label, it's the testimonial actually. Testimonial. I'm starting to find myself getting natural now, which is nice. Oh yeah, it's happy. Practice makes perfect. I'm still looking at the camera. I know I'm not on camera, but I need Stream Deck to switch it. Yeah, well, Ecamm makes it pretty easy. And I don't really switch scenes that much. It's more, yeah, yeah, Stream Deck would help, but I don't really need it for the amount that I'm doing. Maybe. All right, so now I've added a testimonial, which is another text field. So you can probably guess what happens if I go. Did I create my collection in content demo? All right, so I think what happened is because I added the directory afterwards, it's now looking in that directory and not finding it. So I might have to redo that one. Main branch. Okay, author, Simon Swiss, slug, Simon Swiss, testimonial. Let's OCR one of the testimonials, a long one. I need absolutely to set a keyboard shortcut for capture OCR. I can do that in the options. I'm not going to do it now. So let's go with Josh Baker here. And this is going to be the testimonial. Hey, everyone. I think I'm live. I got to check. Yeah. So basically, I'm terrible at doing videos that are unstructured, and I like to make everything polished. Hearing my voice. Oh, looks like we're live. Let me just mute that file. Yeah, so I don't know what happened, but I'm hearing myself share my process in the video playing, which is killing my head. All right, I'll create this and not try to add too much polish to it like I tend to do. I need to get better at just going live, doing stuff, and this is what I'm doing. So
I'm sorry,
I have
to
view here.
This
and
is
bear with me.
completely killing
All
my
right,
head.
so what I'm working on, how do I make this context without spending too much time? Basically, I found it. I'm sorry, I had the live stream playing back in my ears with a 30-second delay, whatever, and it was terrible. So I've saved that testimonial. Now let's see what happens if I go and pull the branch, because if we look here, we still don't have any thing in a public directory. But if I pull, because it's been pushed into the remote branch, GitHub is connected to that repo. There's also a local mode if you want to skip that and just work locally. But here I'm working straight on the repo. So I'm going to pull the changes and hopefully a public directory is going to appear. Look at this, public. And now content, testimonials is the path that I've created. And the item slug is the author, the slug, sorry, which was Simon Swiss. So it created this Simon Swiss. And in here, we have some data in YAML format. So you'll notice, maybe not today, but if you play with Keystatic or see much more streaming where I get to this point, Keystatic will do a collection of YAML and markdoc and images and different things, but it always creates a folder, a directory for the post or the collection item that you have, and then put stuff in there. And there's good reason for that. It leaves a bit more flexibility than if it was all in one file, because you can pull it in different parts of your UI. It's closer to what storing stuff in a database would be, but in the file system. So now I have this, which is a really good start. I think before we try to display this data, I will add, what do we need? We have the author, we have the quote, the slug. So I wanted to add the handle. Let's say it's tweet. Let's go Twitter handle, and then the avatar. So in Keystatic, let's remove the sidebar, back to Zen mode. Zen mode. We will add a Twitter handle. It's a field text, label Twitter handle, and an avatar, although it could pull from the Twitter account, I guess. But for here, let's go field that image. Have a rat. All right, so that's a pretty nice set of fields for our testimonial collection. So if I go, oh, look at this. I haven't refreshed the page. It's just reloaded the UI with the new fields. Simon Swiss. And let's upload. Okay, this is dangerous. I'm going to go to my Dropbox. Public. Use my good old... everyone thinks it's in a swimming pool, but it's actually in the Pacific Ocean in the Gold Coast. It's a beach called Greenmount near Snapper Rocks. And it was one of these crappy camera where you have to go zip, 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 spin to prepare the next film. Oh, I don't know who would know that. Plastic underwater camera that you buy at the pharmacy. All right, so let me show you what happens. I'll pull my branch again with the new content. What do I have? Now I'm expected, look at this. Inside my Simon Swiss folder, we still have the YAML file, but now with a Twitter handle and avatar fields, and the image is actually placed in my repo as well, which is very cool. So next step is, let's just create a couple more testimonials really quickly, and then we're going to try whoa, this is super cool. I love that. Twitter handle, J Doe. I hope it's not someone that we know. And for the avatar, let's go something, yeah, whatever. All right. And let's do one more for the good measure. Anna, I really love this little Git-based CMS. Looks fun. I want to try it. Of course you do. Anna tweets. What can we use? Let's go. Oh yeah, I guess I will make it cropped anyway. Is it weird if Anna looks like me? Yes, let's go with that. Pro Tailwind. Shout out to Pro Tailwind, by the way. This is the main reason I'm streaming. Kidding. All right, so now if I pull the branch again, you know what happens. You know exactly what happens. We're gonna have 3 folders in our testimonials directory. Anna, John Doe, and Simon Swiss. This is cool, hey? So now, maybe to switch gears before building the... Where are we? Where's the other page? Before building these testimonials here, let's try pull the data on the page. So that's gonna be interesting. Keystatic exports a reader API, which is a Node.js API. And so that means you need to do server side only. You can't use this API on the client side. So in Next.js land, what am I doing? Where is my page here? In Next.js land, you can use an async function called getStaticProps. Yeah. And so this is only going to run on the server. It's never going to be sent to the client. And it lets you do stuff before actually getStaticProps will happen when at build time. So when I build the site. And there's also get server side props if you want to do it when the page, just before the page loads. And you can do things, and then you need to return an object that has a props object. So that is a valid, it gives you nothing, but it's a valid getStaticProps function. And then because you do this, you have access to these props up here in your page component. That's how it works. So what we're going to do here is import from keystatic/reader. So we want to import a function called createReader. And that lets us create a reader, duh. And then I'll do that later. No, I'll do that now. Import, so that's to read, and then to display. Keystatic also has a renderer, and this is a document renderer. And this thing is super, super powerful. It's a React component that basically will, you know what? I'm not using a document here, so we don't need that. Scratch this. I will definitely show you that, but this is not the good time to do this. But basically, now that I've talked about it, one of the field types, long form, is the document field. And this thing is a beast, and basically it lets you write WYSIWYG stuff, but it also lets you embed custom components, so you can create any sort of components that you drop mid blog post, like a embedded YouTube video, a tweet, a React playground, anything you can think of. Testimonials could be one part. You could have this whole testimonial thing, or this schema, inside a custom component block within your document. So you would write paragraphs of text with headings and bold and italic and all that. And then midway through the long form copy, drop a testimonial with these fields, and then it will let you fill this field. So it's really powerful. And we're going to use this extensively in another starter template, which is the blog starter template. But for now, I've imported the reader. So in my get static props here, I can check this out. Const reader equals create reader. And it needs two things. It needs the path to basically the content you've created, which is, for us, it starts in the root. Now it starts in public, actually. And the other thing it needs is the config, which is a KeystaticConfig, which is that Keystatic file. So it's exported here. So I need to also import KeystaticConfig from, where are we? It's that file here. I like to call it KeystaticConfig, so it's kind of clear. So we're importing that file, and then we can pass it as the second argument. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place. Down here. Reader, create reader. I think the first is going to be public, and the second is the KeystaticConfig. And once we have this reader, we can asynchronously go and get data from disk. So const, let's get an array of all the slugs for each testimonial start. Const testimonial slugs equals await reader, and look at this TypeScript collections dot testimonials dot, and you have read is for a single one, but you need the ID, and the ID is the slug, and list gives you an array of all of them. So let's try this. In props, I will return slugs, testimonial slugs. And now I have access here to the props. So where are we going to have our testimonials after here's the latest. I'll just have a pre-tag where I will JSON stringify props.slugs. Let's see what happened. If you follow along, well done. Empty 12. I haven't looked at the questions for a while. One thing I should have done before the stream is close the gazillion windows I have everywhere. Okay, no questions related to this. There's 9 people watching, which is pretty cool. I was just wondering if it was still happening. No, hang on. Where's the live one? Yeah, 9 people watching. All right. Can't resolve FS promises. What have I done? Keystatic create reader. Is that better? Okay, I had that error once before and then it went away. I'm importing create reader. Yes. Maybe let's skip a step and yeah, I got the same error, hey? Oh, this is where the stream's gonna go down south. I promise you I've done that many times and it's worked, and now it's not working. I'm probably doing super dumb error. Anyone in the comments from ThinkMill can save me? Help! Help, help, help! What a shame. Module not found. Resolve FS promises. What version of Keystatic are we using? Did anything change overnight? 23? Oh, 30. My goodness. So we're doing rapid development here, and the API might have changed. Maybe I need to... We were talking with Jed yesterday about when you... Where is it? In this file here, make page, we were talking about making this an async function. So the KeystaticConfig could have asynchronous stuff. And I don't think that has changed though. Well, I started streaming this morning without talking to anyone, so who knows? It's a shame because I wanted to show you basically the workflow is, I can't think of anything I've done wrong. I'm not using component, but that's not gonna change anything. Basically the workflow is you have your reader here and you get the array of slugs, which is what I was hoping would be there. And then you can use the reader again and iterate over all the testimonial slugs and get all the data for each. And once you've done that, you have all your data in props that you can use. If I can't fix that, I'm gonna go offline and talk to the team and then do another stream because I really don't want to leave you with the impression that it's broken. I've done it like about 20 times in the last 2 weeks. I only had this FS promises error when I was trying to do something a little bit outside the box in my head. But here, I think I just literally used the basic functionality. Let me go through once again, because when you're live, you miss out the most obvious stuff. We have the storage, yep, collection testimonials, directory in the public directory. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. The only thing I can think of is I have the wrong path in that reader. Usually I put stuff in root. There's nothing special here. I import create reader and do I have the right path to the KeystaticConfig? Pages, KeystaticConfig. Yeah, it's here, TSX. This is getting awkward. All right, what happens if I just literally comment out these two? Why are you not logging the KeystaticConfig? Ah, yeah, that's the thing that doesn't. All right, I've got no idea what I'm doing here now. Can't resolve FS promises. I'll just try start. Because I'm not even using the reader anymore. I'm just importing it. So let me refresh the page here. Yeah, so what I was saying is the only thing I'm not sure is the path. But I don't think so, because the actual path specified in Keystatic here it includes that, and the root from that is literally the root. Public is in the, is it? It definitely is in the root. So the path should be just an empty string. All right. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to bail here. This is an anticlimactic ending, but what I'll try to do is keep the code exactly as it is, and then jump on another stream, so I can explain myself. So the next step, once let me just make that error go away by uncommenting the attempt to. That's a shame. All right, so the next step is gonna be to have display the series of testimonials in a little grid like this, semi-transparent with a fancy background. Do the pricing plans. Again, that's gonna be Keystatic data, and this can probably just be hard-coded stuff. The idea is not to have every single piece of string editable from the CMS, but probably the stuff that you imagine your marketing team wants to change, like the hero headline, hero paragraph, maybe the image, and the testimonials for sure. And they can't, we don't want them, Ronald from the team had a really good point. You don't want the marketing team to just randomly change plans and prices, but maybe that and the features of each can be updated, or specifically just that. All right, I'm gonna call it a morning session for now. Apologies to not be able to complete the demo. I will, however, come back online and show you. And I will probably bang my head on the wall because I've made a simple mistake that I've overlooked. This is the joys of streaming, unfortunately. Let me show you my face for another 5 seconds before I say goodbye. All right, thanks for watching. I hope I answered the question. Oh, get static pros. Okay, that's cool. I just now see he's not reading the comments. So you've watched me struggle for a good minute because of a typo. So let's try this. Yeah. Okay, because it's not called get static props. It's actually going to the client side, and this is why the promises stuff. What a shame. Now it looks like Keystatic is broken, but it's my brain that is broken. Get static pros. Look at this. I'm gonna add a P, and the world will be happy again. Let's try YOLO everything back in one go and save, and it's here. Oh my god, I was about to cancel the Thank you so much, Osiris, Cairo, you legend. I'm sorry for not, type. Everyone's saying Wayne. Everyone had my back. I just forgot to look at the comments. So Keystatic was working all along. My brain wasn't. So look at this. We have 3. I'm so happy now. I can resume. I'm so happy. We have our 3 slugs. Yeah. So we are going to write a slightly more friendly API, because for now, what you need to do is get the list of slugs like we did, and then go const the actual testimonials. And here you need to do this kind of weird, we want to map over the testimonial slugs, but we want to await all of these because they're async. So you got to do await promise that all to wait for all the promises. And then here testimonial slugs dot map, and here an async function. So for each slug, what we want to do is, what am I doing? Async slug. What we want to do is return await reader dot collections dot testimonial dot read with the slug passed to it. So remember, the read API expects an ID, which is a unique identifier, and the reason it's the slug is because here we've defined get item slug to be the slug. So counts testimonials, blah blah blah, pass the slug here. And now, can we do this? So I'm gonna return the testimonials object, which is named the same as the value testimonials here. So let's see what we have. Probably not gonna work on the first try. I'm probably missing a return or something. Now I'm looking at the comments. Read the comments first. All right, that's a good point. Next stream, I will, when I get stuck, I will read the comments before deciding to bail and cry. So, counts testimonials, await promise all. Do I need to return this? No, oh my God. Const data equals testimonial. What am I doing? I promise you, live streaming takes the skills. Reading, typing, interviews on Zoom is hard, I guess. I haven't had to do like a test, but const testimonials, await promise.all. Oh, what am I doing? Testimonial map, blah, 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 return. Okay, let's try this. Const. Each testimonial is that. Can I console log it? If I revisit the page, what have I done wrong? What's the typo now? Oh my goodness. Testimonials return. Okay, it's not serializable because it's undefined. So I'm not going to return that just yet because the problem is here. And what's undefined? Okay, so that's our data. First author, Anna, slug, testimonial, Twitter handle, avatar. Yes. Yes. And yes. So what's the problem? I'm probably not returning it. Const testimonials equals blah, 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 blah. Yes. Now it's turning into a JavaScript struggle. So can I console the testimonials here? Let's put it in an object. All right, so we have an object, which is an array of testimonials. They all have all the fields. What am I tripping on? So here, if I return all the testimonials, It has to work. Yo. Testimonial array is here with all the data. Help me. Help me out. I have the data. I can see it. I can feel it. So then I return it in the props object, which I accept here. Let me go even like this to have one more chance at a typo. Yes, I know I should use types. So now this is gonna break because I logged the props. Oh, it's because I'm trying to do the slug thing down there. Look at this. I'm trying props.slug, but I changed the name. Okay. Now it's gonna work. Look at this. Yeah. And when you do this, always go null 2. And then you have a nicely pretty printed. Look at this. Well, the process of putting data in Keystatic and then having it here was supposed to take 1 minute, and it took about an hour and a half. Maybe not that much. But now let's look at this. And let's try something fun. I'm gonna stop the stream after that. But just for some gratification here. Let's go unordered list. And then testimonials.map for each testimonial. We're going to return an li element with the key of testimonial.slug. And this li will have a class name of bg white 50. Look at us, we're back to Tailwind suddenly. P-8, 6. Rounded to XL. And then inside here, you really want your types here. I don't want to do this. But if you want me to do it, I haven't saved. Testimonials map li class name. Oh, I've got nothing in my li, that's why. I thought the padding would actually make it. What? Why is there? Ah, yeah, there is. Ah, because we're in a white background. Okay. Simon Swiss, you need to be better at streaming. Tailwind Epic, I agree. BG, let's go fancy. Rose, 50. Just a subtle touch of rose. Let's go 100 so we can see what we're doing. 100. Okay, so look at this. Ain't that cool? So I was talking about CSS columns. Actually, I'll try this. I do not know how it's gonna work. Class name. Look at this. Flex call gap 8. By now you know I like gap 8. So now we're gonna have 3 separated. But now I'll go flex wrap. I will change on the li items the width. Let's go with width 80. And so now the problem is, well, we only have 3 testimonials. I don't want to. Can I do it this way? So if we had more, I don't want to add more data, but I can add more. I can duplicate that 3 times. That's a hack, but I should have 9. Yeah, so now the flex just keeps going up, up, down, down, down. But then what you can do to force the wrap here, because flex wrap is never gonna wrap because vertical space just keeps creating itself. But if I go height 300 pixels arbitrarily, now after 300 pixels, it will wrap. And it doesn't look like much like this because all have the same content. And it's an accident that it's 3 times 3 columns. I didn't mean to nail it. If it was 400, we might have 4, 3, 2 or something. Yeah, you get the idea. Let me remove make the gap a bit smaller. So what's gonna happen when we have different lengths of content is it's going to stack. And I'm afraid I might need to create one more testimonial. Oh, afraid, it's not that bad. But let's try to get the real thing. Again, I'm pretty sure this is the wrong HTML elements. I will regain my dev skills after the stream, as it tends to happen. But let's copy the whole, it's gonna look terrible because there's the black and stuff. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have my figure. We don't need this. We don't need the max width. We need the flex call, the gap, yeah. The text is gonna be, what's the design looking like? I forgot. The text is gonna be much smaller. Yeah, text LG. This is the last thing I'm doing, so stick around for the grand finale. We kind of want, after a struggle with the Get Static Pros, we kind of want a nice finale. 2 things quickly. For coding in public, it's gonna be available after the stream. You can rewatch. There's a lot of struggle, but it's gonna stay online. I have nothing to hide. I know everyone who streams know that it's super hard, so I'm not worried about me struggling like this. The other thing, what's my take? Grid versus flex. I kind of want to say layout stuff, use grid, big layout, page layout, columns and stuff. I tend to use flex mostly for when I want things to an unknown amount of elements or an unknown amount of space. I want it flex to let it kind of take the space that it needs naturally and be able to control the vertical alignment, horizontal alignment, and gap. For a while, I was using flex for a lot of things that grid kind of works better, and I'm actually doing it right now. I could use grid here instead of flex and flex call. This is 2 classes, and if you go grid, it's by default stacked if you have 1 column, and it works with the gap as well. I should probably use grid here. I'm willing to use grid more and more. Flex is really when you have flowing content that you want to kind of let the browser do its responsive thing. And what the use of flex that I'm doing right now for the columns is kind of a hack to do this flex wrap with the max height. You can't really use CSS grid for this Masonry layout yet, but I think there is a Masonry property that's making its way into CSS grid. So anyway, I hope it answers the question. I'm going to, where was I? Yes, I was updating the classes. I've done text LG and black. And so now the thing we want that's gonna make us happy instead of having that, the whole reason we've put stuff in Keystatic is to be able to go testimonial dot quote. Because it's not quote, it's testimonial. And yes, I know this is exactly why you use TypeScript, and I should set up types. Look at this. So actually, you know what? I need to go and create. Love that guy. Actually, yes. Another actually. Before I create one more testimonial, I want to display the correct fields for everything. So here, the person's name is going to be testimonial.author. link is going to be testimonial dot Twitter handle. And for the avatar, it's a bit tricky. Can we please not have the text white for them? Hey. So what's the design looking like? We go small. Look at this. Tailwind to the rescue. Text, SM, font, medium. Straight away, it's going to look better. And then the other one is text SM, text gray, something-ish. Text SM, text gray. 700. I'm tempted 600, but then it probably doesn't pass the accessibility. And I will also add a leading none. So we remove a lot of the line height. Let's do that for both. Does leading none not exist? Leadine, yeah. Yes. So that's one of the main reasons I like the Prettier plugin that sorts the classes, because it wasn't a Tailwind class. It's yanked it right at the start to say, hey, this is not Tailwind stuff. Now if I save, it's probably going to jump back to the end or somewhere. That's pretty useful. All right, so now, and we want to tack a little @ symbol here. And now we're in a good place. I kind of like it. I just realized this font of the text should absolutely text MD. There's no MDs. It's base. I think in Tailwind it goes from SM, and then medium is like the base. So let's reset it to base, although we might not need that class. Font normal. It felt like yeah, it's just the font. I'm just fiddling around now. Anyway, you know that I just realized that these are like side by side. I was so hell-bent on copying the stuff. So we have our caption, and instead of flex call, I can change this to just flex. It'll break it on 3 lines. But then I can wrap the 2 paragraph and link elements in a div. So they're like the same flex child. And then I add a gap on the, let's go gap 3, probably 2. And item center, what's happening? There's a margin top somewhere. That's, yeah, look at this. This empty 2. That will happen to you a lot. You're like, oh, it's why Flex is not aligning, and you'll blame Flex just like I blamed Keystatic before, when the culprit here is the margin top 2. So with the margin, it's perfectly centered with that. So heads up if it happens to you. So now if I save, it's going to be aligned really nicely. And I think just make it a bit smaller. Don't you love how I always says one more thing and then one more thing and then one more thing and then one more thing? That's what I do. All right, I'm gonna stop right there. Even if I now realize it's left aligned, so I'm not gonna stop. It's not item it's not item setter. It's, yes, that is item setter. Here is not item setter. I just remove that and we should be good to go. And of course, the text sender class needs to go away. All right. The designer in me is losing its marbles right now. P10. And I promise you I'm done because it looks great. Well, it does. Yeah, whatever. Look, it's amazing. So what I wanted to show you is add a couple of testimonials of different lengths to see how it handles that column, because I think it's one of the interesting parts. So let's jump in testimonials. Let's create a new one. Quick one. Hey, you should really read the YouTube comments when you get stuck. Just saying. Quick one. See how I typed the whole sentence without a single typo? Let's go with this cool avatar. Oh, and I haven't displayed the avatar, which is another thing. All right. Let's see if one extra testimonial lets us demo the... So see how I'm always pulling, if you just arrive, I'm just pulling the content every time, and it's because... It's not because of that. It's because I'm working, storing stuff on GitHub on the repo. And so when I save, it actually commits to the remote repo, and then I have to pull it back in my local branch. So now that I've pulled it, I will comfortably say that I refreshed and have 4 testimonials. What? I haven't thought that. Yeah, okay. Okay, you know what? This is the problem with what's happening is my height here is too little, and so it keeps wrapping and then eventually goes out of... so I would need to add guardrails. But yeah, now you kind of get the idea of... Let me make it a bit longer, actually. If I go 800, you should see... Okay, so what I need to do is flex start. I do not like this at all. Not at all. Let's try CSS columns, and I've used millions of times and I forgot how they work. Once again, I promise you, live streaming steals your skills. Columns, and there's Tailwind utilities for that. But is it on the parent? Columns too? You know what? Why don't we go to good old Tailwind CSS? Yeah, so that's what I want, see? But it's kind of a hack because the order is always going to go top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. And I'm sure that it says it's not for Masonry. It has to be a little gotcha. Now, anyway. So you put it on the parent. Okay, that's all I needed to know. By the way, how beautiful are these examples? This is so cool. Where am I? Oh my god, my thing doesn't look as nice. Let's get rid of all these classes. So now they should all be stacked vertically on one column. And I think I should remove the width as well. God, I don't know how it works. Yeah, I don't need the width because it's going to... where is the width? Brain, work, brain, here. Okay, so I want just like stacked stuff like this. And then I'm gonna go here on the UL, columns, 3 columns. Okay, so see that there's that weird, it splits mid-paragraph here because it's literally looking for a line break to change. And there is definitely something to avoid that. I would trust Tailwind docs to know about it and tell me about it. Setting the column gap. All right, so gap X, yeah, that makes sense. Basically, I need to tell the columns to not break halfway through my card. The first thing I don't know is there a default gap? Because I didn't specify a gap. I guess so. Anyone in the comments know? If you say column 2, there's always going to be 2 columns no matter how many testimonials you got. Yes, correct. But you can make it responsive. It's not gonna be based on content. Basically, it's gonna split columns to share equal amount of vertical space. And then you can say at the small breakpoint, you want 3 columns, medium breakpoint 4 columns, etc. Just to answer the question while I'm have it here, columns. There's also responsive, or like this one is pretty cool. So you go 3XS. It's going to try to use how much, it depends on the, see, it's gonna automatically knows when it should switch. So when it has 3XS, which is that width, it's like, oh, I've got enough space to split it in 2. Where if we had column 3, it would always be 3. So that's really nice. I would probably actually use that instead, but maybe go 2XS. What is it? So if there's 288 pixels in width, 2 times plus the gap, it will decide to make the switch. So yeah, that sounds like actually pretty good. Now I'm going to add a space Y of 8. I think that's going to sort out the vertical space, because even if they're side by side, you have to think that it goes top bottom. That's the testimonial 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not going, typically when you want a masonry grid, you want left to right and then next row, but the columns is gonna go top bottom, top bottom, top bottom, which is why it's not a great fit, because you can't really control that. However, it does achieve that. I just want to fix. So someone mentioned the break after to avoid the line break, and I think that is correct. Where would you apply this, on the card itself? I feel like I've seen lots of CSS columns demo where you can see that example break. James, what do you think, if you're still here? Okay, I haven't used break after in about a million years. Let's see what Tailwind says. So that's one thing with Tailwind docs. Whatever you're looking for, you type the word and you straight in the page. It's like ridiculously fast. Break after. Oh, how a column. Hey, look at this. It's gonna have an example with a column. No. A column should break after a void. So that sounds, the column sounds like it's on the child, because it's an individual column inside a. So we have our columns here, and then on the li, break after. Let's avoid. Don't break after. Oh my god. It is not what we wanted. Break after. What was happening? Break after. What? Break before? I want break after. Not that it's changing anything. Break. So I'm pretty good with CSS, but like I don't know what this does. At least now my head. Avoid page. Break after left. Column. Yes, break after the column. And that might be something that you need to. Hey. Wow, that's not what I want at all. My goodness. Grid? Yeah, so if I use CSS grid, that'll be much easier to have columns and have them go left to right, but I won't be able to have the column cells have. Basically, grid will take the biggest of the top row, and then you'll say the top, this is the top row here. And then all the subsequent 3 testimonials will start from that line below. You won't be able to have that fancy Masonry stuff. I tell you what, it's humbling to stream and struggle on stuff that I feel I would be able to build much faster without being live. But I think it's good. Practice makes perfect, and I need to do more of that and encourage people to do more of that. Hint, hint. Okay, so this is not, I feel like this might be something that you want to put on the parent. It's just a feeling though. I have no backing theory. I'm just like winging. All right. Break after all on the li. I feel like that's the thing I've done before, no? Break after all. Oh no, I had break after avoid. Break after all. Like this. Refresh. Nope. Anyway. I'll figure that out. But the cool thing is we have a completely static site. And this content here comes from Keystatic, and we didn't have to spin up a database, a different hosting, paid accounts, whatever. We just dropped, well, it was already dropped at the start of the stream, but basically in my pages, I have this Keystatic page, which when you visit /Keystatic, you see this. If I go to the main dashboard, and then I had to spin up this KeystaticConfig, which is where I describe the fields that I want and where to store them. And you know what? I have not displayed the avatar here. So let me show you that before I finish version 2.0 zip final. It's still kittens all the way. So it was pretty easy to display the username. What am I? That's not that. It was easy to display the testimonial and the slug and the author and the handle. But for the image sits in its own directory, which is why we've made everything go in public in here, so I can point to the image relevant. So here it's going to be a little bit more complicated and the story might change, but basically, if you want, I know that the testimonials will be in content /testimonials/ and then I want to reach for the name of, this is the slug, yeah, the identifier is built on the slug field, and then the image is going to be named, I think it's named avatar, but I can't see that's PNG. I can't just guess the name. But what I can do is I've put template tags here so I can interpolate some JS. So here we're going to go testimonial.slug /. So now we're in Anna or Simon Swiss or Quick One, etc. And here we go testimonial dot what? Avatar. So I've constructed this dynamic path here. So for each element, it should display, hey, look at this. So what I was gonna say, why is this one not having an image? But it's because it starts there and finishes there. Let's pretend that doesn't exist. This is cool. This comes from the CMS, and I'm pretty happy with that. one thing you'd want to do probably is to use the next image component. Is it image or curly braces image? I think it's image. I do think that it needs a few more props, like layout, unexpected token next. Oh my god, Simon. Really? This deserves a... No, not a clap, this one. Or wah, wah, this one. I deserve that one. Okay, I'm not gonna do this because I think it's gonna tell me that I need to enable the domain for that image. Look, even if I add a width, okay, you can stay an image tag. Let's do our little avatars here. Image. No, what? Not this one. This one. Image. So we know the height and width, which is 40 pixels. So we can go. More typos, please. And now it's going to hopefully do the nice thing where we have a source set and all the stuff. Let's take a look. Look at this. Next.js gives us this source set with like different images, quality of 75, at 2x and all the stuff. So that's really cool. We have optimized images with not much effort outside of passing a height and width. So the layout, when the page renders, it knows the space it's gonna take. And yeah, you can see the responsive. So that's, maybe I should have done the whole stream at this width so it works. That is the reason we've used CSS columns instead of CSS grid, is because now we can have this staggered brick masonry sort of effect, which is the curved ball, friendly curved ball provided by the design. And you can see behind, I'm not going to do this now, but you can see these purple and yellow, pink blobs, very blurry. I've done a video on the Tailwind channel, Tailwind Labs channel, of doing exactly that. These three little blobs, very blurry, and then you animate them slowly with the easing transitions. And it gives you this really cool throbbing effect behind the cards. So that assumes that the card have a slight opacity. I think I've done that already. Yeah, I've got white 50, so it's probably more like 75. And then when I build this properly, this is how I'm going to handle the background effect. I need to figure out what the heck is happening here, how to make that not happen. And it's definitely one of these break. Oh, actually, I haven't committed to my brain to use that. I was speaking to Jacob Paris. Shout out Jacob if you're watching. I was asking him. I have to log in every time though. Do not email me. I was asking Jacob how to do something in Bash for like Git pods in a YAML file. And he said, he helped me, but then he said, honestly, ask ChatGPT. And I did, and it gave me the exact syntax I need to write. Imagine I have a list of cards displayed with CSS columns. How do I make sure that the column split? I bet it's not gonna work because I'm asking like a weirdo. Make column split never happens in the middle of the card content. It's a I promise you, if it tells me to make sure that the column split never happens in the middle of the card content, you can use break inside property, avoid column. This property specifies how page column breaks. Yes. The card represents the card element you want to ensure. Yeah. So it's our li item. And so inside li item, I go break inside. Seriously though, ChatGPT is crazy. Break inside, and what did ChatGPT tell me? Avoid column. Break inside, avoid column. Bruh, if it works, oh, I'll be so pissed. No, I'll be happy actually. I know you meant that as a joke, but it should be the thing that we do these days when we get stuck. I'm really pissed that I didn't think of it. Break inside, avoid, what was it, column? Shit, sorry, I swore. Break inside, avoid, column. Yeah. I'm scared. I really don't want it to work because that'll make me upset. It is gonna work. I know it's gonna work. No. It works. ChatGPT to the rescue. I have not yet made a habit of doing this, and this is the second time in a week or so that I get stuck and someone said, oh, just ask ChatGPT, and I do, and it works. God damn. All right. Thank you. ChatGPT was the answer. So if you ever have to do this, and you can also say something about the last one if you want it to be orphan or whatever. But you know what? To conclude this thing that I keep saying I'm going to conclude, let's just add 2 more testimonials. So we have 6. New entry. Jed Watson, co-founder of ThinkMill. Jed Watson. Whoa, Simon really is good after the first 30 minutes at live streaming. I should try it myself. I'm going to make a clip of that short segment. Yeah, let's go. Your avatar is going to be all the color plugins in Tailwind CSS. Create. Toronto Raptors, why not? We the North. I'm actually not a Raptors. Well, I like the Toronto Raptors, but it's not my favorite team. It just crossed my mind because I heard a song by Connor Price about the Toronto Raptors. It's called 21 Raps, and it's in my head. Okay, let's do one more. What is going to go through my head now? I have to brainwash everyone to get my course. Simon has only released one single workshop, but it's already transformed my life forever. YOLO! Yes, yes. Start using ChatGPT. I mean, I've tried it as jokes, like I was like write a rap about Tailwind CSS and it made a cool rap, and I was like, oh, hey, that's kind of fun. But I haven't realized that it actually, I know sometimes it tells you something completely wrong, but it tells it with confidence. So you're like, you believe it and then it's wrong. But in that case, it worked, and it even gave me the example how to do it. And if I had added Tailwind CSS, it would definitely have told me you can use the break inside avoid columns class. Avatar for Pro Tailwind. I saw a very cute corgi appear here. Yes, yes, yes. This is my favorite. Look at it. It's so cute. So cute. All right, so now we have officially 6. And actually something I should have done before. Do you like how I switch gears all the time? Think, mill, Keystatic, starter, landing page. If I go there, just because I press saved, you'll see that the last commit, which is now, is going to be create Jed Watson and Pro Tailwind. So you can see it created this file. Oh, the commit before was Jed Watson. So if I go in commits, you can see the Raptors, Jed Watson, all these commits come in, it's still deploying. And if it was on a different branch, you could do a PR, look at the deploy preview, and all the good stuff. I love that. I love that too. Chat GPT, man. The free version already saves my day. So I've said all this. You know the next step. Let's do it from the command line this time. Git pull. Pulling the new content. You don't need to use PNPM, but we're using it on this project. Refresh, and we're going to have 6 testimonials. Oh, did they? All right, so maybe it's because of the break inside stuff that it's not being balanced like that. Actually, let me try this. If I cut out this class for a second, I think the 3 columns will be... I was like, whoa, my design is nice. It is not my design. Yeah, see, that's what you want. So our stuff fixes the column break, but it messes up the whole calculation of the height, which is, again, not ideal. But you get a good idea. I guess just create one more testimonial and try to, yeah. I'll figure this out. It might be the internal padding that messes the calculation. So maybe if there was a wrapper with the padding, or a wrapper with the break stuff, and then the one with the padding. And I'll try that last thing. What if I take these 3 classes and I add a div here with these 3 classes, and that wraps the whole figure like that. It changes nothing. All right. So, summary. This is what we're building. It's all static content, except this. And I'm gonna do a Simon special and do one more thing before I wrap up. I want to show you that you don't need to have everything as collections. So this is a collection. I'm not gonna do the pricing plan, but this is a collection. But what if you want to just the hero headline or like the CTA button? You don't want to have to create a collection for that. So Keystatic, I don't know why I said it with the Aussie accent, but I just did. Keystatic has that concept of collections and that concept of singletons. Singleton. So we'll have a series of singletons as well, which is things you use once, like about page or contact page or settings. Like if you want to store something like the open hours for a business or phone number or Twitter handle, something that you might need to grab and display in lots of places, but it's only set once. So let's create a thing. Actually, I'll call this page MISC. That's a terrible way to start organizing stuff. But you could call it landing page. But you could also call it settings or whatever. So this is a singleton. Do I need to? I think I just auto imported it at the top. Yes, I did. And I haven't really used these, but if I go space stuff, I can figure out it's the same concept. We have a label, landing page. We have a directory. This one might not have images, but let's still put it in public. Public/content/landing page. Yes, and it probably wants a schema as well before it's happy. Schema, and there's lots of stuff I haven't even showed you. I haven't shown the document editor. I haven't shown this format stuff that lets you decide if you want a front matter in YAML, JSON, all that. But no, there's options. So for the schema here, we're gonna have a main headline. Yeah. Main headline, and it's going to be fields.text, and the label is main headline. And I think, why is it not happy? What's missing? What is missing? Ah, you know what's missing? The column here. Thank you, TypeScript. I know you're useful. All right, so I'm just gonna do main headline, and you can imagine you would do the same for the watch promo button, the CTA at the bottom here, whatever you think needs to be editable. So now in my homepage, index.tsx, just like we getting testimonials, I've already created the reader, and I'm reading from the testimonial slugs here. But what I want to do also, let's add a little comment. Testimonials, and then down here, landing page content. What I want to do is const main headline equals, now const landing page await reader dot singletons this time dot landing page, and this one is only dot read because there's always only one since it's a singleton, so you don't need to get the list and then await all of them. It's just one, so it's pretty easy. And you can guess what this is going to give me. But let's try to pass it here. And maybe at the top of the file before the main headline. After that's the navigation. Before our hero headline here. Let's go here. Pre-tag. JSON stringify. Landing page. Lock man. Yeah, I have to import it, accept it in the component. No, 2. So it's complaining because we're only getting testimonials in our component. Let's also get landing page. Now it's complaining even more because it wants types. But okay, you know what's happening? I haven't created the landing page headline. I've created the page, but see, look at this. Now in my dashboard, I also have a singleton. Cannot read properties of null main headline. Yo, what? Okay, there's most definitely, okay. There was something, so this is the field we've created, main headline. That's the only field in the schema, so therefore that's the only, this stream was both garbage and amazing, which I kind of agree. There was garbage parts, but also some pretty cool parts. So I'm gonna create that. If I refresh the page, there's still nothing because it's only on the remote. See, well, there is a null now, which is good because we haven't filled it. But we both know that if I go and pull from main, and now refresh the page, we will eventually get the main headline. Nice, nice. So what I like here is, so you've seen the more workflow of Keystatic of create some content schemas and then create some data and then display it without the whole get static prose and 45 minutes of like, what the hell is happening? So that's what I like. You have this really quick feedback loop, and you have the collections, you have the landing page, and now I can go index, and also in my index page, I have both the testimonials and the landing page data, which is pretty cool. And it's all static at build time, get static props, so it's all served as HTML, which is pretty cool. No database, no monthly payments, no database migrations, and all this stuff. So what I want to do is replace the big headline, which is here, with landing page dot main headline. And just like this, I have implemented it in my front end with 100% confidence. We want to remove the JSON stringified demo. And this time is a wrap. This is all static for now. This comes from the CMS. This is in the codes, hard-coded. We can change that. This is still hard-coded, but it could. You know what? I'll do one more thing. I will just replace the content of that with the first testimonial. You probably want a checkbox to decide which one is the featured one. But because we already have them, let's do that. You would probably grab the first testimonial somewhere. But you can, I'll do it here for each. Testimonial 0 dot testimonial. Then the image is going to be, let's do the image last. This one is going to be the author. This is going to be the Twitter handle. And the image is going to be a bit more complex because we have to build. Whoa. We have to build the path. So it's slash content slash testimonials 0 dot slug slash, oh my god, testimonial 0 slash avatar. There's no way I've nailed it in the first try, but maybe I did. Look at this. And it's also showed there, so here you would probably do something like, look at me doing one more thing. You probably testimonials that slice 1. Is that how it works? Will 1 just keep 1 or remove the first one? Yeah, it worked. So by doing slice 1, I just remove the 0 index and take the slice from 1 to anything. If I went from 1 to 2, it would just have one avatar. 1 to 3, it would have 2 of them. Just one will go to till the last one. So now I've pulled out the first testimonial in here and pull the others there. And let's just, to completely wrap the feedback loop, go in this testimonial, which is the first one. And lad, we're gonna absolutely really love Git-based CMS. I'm gonna save this. I'm going to git pull for the changes. Restart the server and go back to the page and refresh just to show you the word here is updated. All right, I don't know if anyone is still watching, but I'm pretty happy with the second part of this stream. The reason I've done this today is exactly that. I want to do more of this live stream of me building stuff instead of building it and then, oh, let's create some content showing how it's built. I will still do that as well, but I wanted to show you the workflow of building a project with Tailwind CSS, Next.js, and Keystatic. And we have a mix of dynamic content from collections. This is hard-coded. So you can incrementally, and look at this, with only 6, it actually looks really, really nice. Yeah, pretty happy. If you have any questions, hit me up or hit anyone at ThinkMill up. We're going to actively build this page, another 3 or 4, and start inviting people to try it out. Yeah, thanks for watching. Let me show you my face one more time, just to prove that it was me all along. Yes, it was. All right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for talking in the comments. And yeah, I'll go through the comments. If I see some questions that I've missed, I'm sorry, and I will try to respond to them. Thanks you. See you in the next one. I will do that more and more regularly. I just realized that this was here all along. I will do it. Try to be a bit better at not freaking out at the start. I feel like towards the end it was getting well. Let me finish up here, and I'll see you in the next one.